State.
You've waited all day for this.
Don't let that team steal it away. He's going to take it to the house. 85 yards. Down the right side going Devin Smith. Got it at the 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown.
The one show that's nothing but the Buckeyes.
Oh, Brad Rucker for the touchdown. Kraft shoots it high on the right for 3.
This is the Buckeye Show.
My, oh my. Finally, it is almost time. We are less than 24 hours away from Ohio State taking on Texas in the shoe. One of the best games, if not the best game of the college football season, and we get it right here in Columbus, week 1. I'm Dylan Tyrer filling in for Brandon Beam. Pat Murphy is with me, and of course, we've got the guy you just heard from, Jacob Reimer, running things behind the glass. How's everybody doing? Pat, it's great to be with you.
Yeah, good to do this again with you, especially the night before the big game, as you just highlighted there. So exciting to be here again, and I've been wavering back and forth. Beam and I've talked about this a lot. Like, is it good to have this kind of test week 1? Would you rather have it week 2? And I've said throughout the offseason, like, I would prefer to see these guys play, you know, whether it's a Grambling or an OU or whoever, week 1, and then maybe have the Texas game week 2 or 3. But then we get to this week, and it's like all the interest is on this game. Everyone's excited, and everyone's excited for a season opener in general. But the fact that it's this game, I don't know, maybe I'm changing my tune a little bit.
I like it. I like starting off with a battle week 1. It's fun as a fan just to see what each of these teams has. And, you know, I think really the conversation around this game has been how similar that Texas and Ohio State are. You've got highly touted recruits that are kind of untested at quarterback. Lots of changes on offense and defense for both of these teams. I think you're a little bit more familiar with the weapons Ohio State has offensively than maybe some changes for Texas. New lines. I think the trenches are going to be huge in this game. Reimer, how do you feel back there about Ohio State starting off with a great battle in Texas?
I love it. I love when you have a game to kind of look forward to all off season long. Like, you have a bunch of games this weekend with Ohio State, Texas, not just them. You got LSU, Clemson, and that's at Clemson. I love the true home environment too, not a neutral site. Like this game being in Ohio Stadium is unbelievable. It's going to be a madhouse there at the shoe. I can't wait for it.
So, Pat, I just talked about all the different changes for these teams. Where do you think it matters most? Like, for me, I'm really going to be looking at the battle in the trenches tomorrow. I think a game like this, week 1, that's where it's going to be won and lost.
Yeah, I think especially when you look at Ohio State's losses in recent years, obviously the Michigan games, but it's the interior. Can they run? Like, the interior of the defensive line of the opponent. And I think actually the Buckeyes might be in a decent spot there. Texas has brought in 4 transfers, including Hero Kanu, who played for the Buckeyes the last couple of years. From what they've been saying out of there, like, good, maybe not great, and maybe gets better as the season gets on. So I think that could be really interesting, especially given you got a center and 2 guards that have a lot of experience now, especially, you know, Luke Montgomery didn't play a lot during the regular season, but played a lot in the playoff, and those were the biggest games of the year, right? So the interior of that line, like, I think if you're the Buckeyes, you lean on this run game early. Let Julian Sayin settle in. Obviously, you want to use these weapons, but if you can get that run game going and you can expose some of that through the interior and, you know, set that tone. You know, Ryan Day talks a lot about this toughness stuff, right? And I think that narrative probably went out the window when you won a national championship that they're not tough enough under Ryan Day. But I do think if you can establish that, set that tone early, that could be huge for the Buckeyes.
That's where I'm at, too. Like, I've talked about it the last few weeks, and, I mean, that's all we've done for the last however many months is talk about this game and how we think Ohio State can win and, you know, the different changes on Texas and Arch Manning and all this different stuff. But I think it starts with the run, too. You've got a guy making his first start here at Ohio State in Julian Sayin. It's going to be very, very easy for him if Ohio State can successfully run the ball, right? Because that opens up so much more for the Buckeyes. Yeah. But let's say Texas is stout against the run. Where do you think the Buckeyes go from there? Because I don't think you want this guy in saying playing hero ball right away, but you do have the weapons to really spread things out.
Yeah, I think if you need to put the ball in Julian's hand, they will be confident in doing so. Could there be some mistakes? I think both quarterbacks could potentially be baited into some mistakes. Arch, while he has some experience, not a ton. We were talking about this before the show started. it's kind of weird that the narrative, and I know he's a Manning and that plays into it and whatnot, but both of these guys are pretty green, right? To use kind of an old expression. So I think it'll be, if you can avoid having to do that, last minute, like trying to do a 2-minute drill, and maybe one of these quarterbacks, maybe both of these quarterbacks show like, hey, we're ready to go out of the gates, and they're both two of the top. But yeah, if you can just ease them into it and then allow, remember that CJ Stroud Minnesota game a couple of years ago, right? Like it wasn't his best performance, but he was able to navigate it, get the win. Travion Henderson had the big runs, a couple of those. They were able to make some plays. So I think if you can manage it similar to that, obviously a much different test than on the road against Minnesota. You're playing the number 1 team in the country, but that sort of game plan makes a lot of sense to me.
To that point, you use things like navigate, manage, and I think a big part of that is limiting the big mistake, right? Like, I don't think a quarterback can really ever play a perfect game. Maybe sometimes they're right there, but there are going to be those small mistakes throughout a football game. Yeah. For me in this one, it's limiting that big mistake, because when the talent is so close like this and all eyes are on this game, it feels like that one big mistake, a fumble in a bad part of the field, maybe even a bad punt that you don't flip the field the way you want to, an interception on the wrong part of the football field. That could be the difference in a game like this. So do you buy into that, maybe saying managing things that way and being smart? Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with being a game manager. Yeah. And look, we all want the Buckeye quarterbacks to look like Justin Fields, CJ Stroud, Will Howard. Well, think about those guys early on in their first seasons. Like, I did a piece on this offseason on Bucknuts. Like, Justin Fields' first game, the best play he had, he threw the ball out of bounds a couple times, which Ryan Day talked about afterwards, but he had a few runs that were one really big one. CJ Stroud, I mean, everyone was calling for his head after the first couple weeks. Look how they turned out, right? So I think if you can avoid some of that early in these guys' careers of mistakes and be that manager, you're fine. But then on the flip side, can you take advantage of those mistakes? Like, that's something I thought Ohio State did really well in the playoff. And then, obviously with the Jack Sawyer play and whatnot. But like against Michigan last year, you have that Jack Sawyer interception on the goal line in the end zone. And it's like, all right, here, the Buckeyes are going to go down the field. They're going to take care of this. You get out of here with the win. Jack Sawyer will have this play that everyone remembers. And then I remember just feeling bad for Jack, because it was like, that was the play that's going to define your career. So if you are, and obviously he made up for it, but if you are the Buckeyes and you get an opportunity on a turnover or something like that, make Texas pay for it. That's going to be crucial too. And if you do turn the ball over for your Ohio State, you don't want to let Texas make you pay for it.
Absolutely. It's all about managing those different moments in the game. The field position, I think, is going to be so important in this one. We talked about the offensive line, the defensive line, and what that battle will look like. If you had to pick out maybe a couple of other players or a position group in general, is there one that intrigues you in this game, one that you want to see something from?
I'm interested in the back end of Ohio State's defense, just because we don't know. We know Caleb Downs. Obviously, he's going to be great. But who's going to be next to him? I think they're going to use Jalen McClain and Malik Hartford. I don't know if it matters who starts. I think they're both going to play at least early, and maybe one guy just fits for this, but I think both guys are going to play a lot this year. So, like, you'll lose a guy really good in Lathan Ransom, and then the nickel position. I think Jordan Hancock's the hardest guy on this team to replace, because by the end of last year, everything he was doing, dropping deep into a safety, he could cover slot receivers, he could cover outside receivers. The Bills took him, I think, in the 5th round. He's playing deep safety for them. So he was so versatile. And I like Lorenzo Styles. I'm just not sure if he early in this season can do all of those things. I think that's going to be tough to replace. So those are two places I'm looking for sure.
For me, it's the tight end position for Ohio State. Like, I really want to see what they do with Max Clare tomorrow, because traditionally, I feel like Ohio State has recruited the tight end position pretty well. They've had talent there, but have they really utilized that position offensively? It doesn't feel like they've had that guy that really explodes. And, what do they say, particularly in the NFL, is good for a young quarterback? An experienced tight end. That's a young quarterback's best friend. So I feel like maybe we'll see Max Clare as a little bit of a safety valve tomorrow, but I'm really not sure. So that's something I'm excited about too.
Yeah, and I think if you are Texas and you're taking away, they took away Jeremiah Smith in that game last year. If they can take away a couple of those receivers, figure out a way, well, then you got Max Clare in the middle of the field, right? We saw that pass that Julian Sand made to him for the touchdown in the spring game. So for me, yeah, I agree completely, and I think he's going to be really interesting and just give this offense another dynamic. Not take anything away from G. Scott Jr. or Cade Stover or some of the other guys. He's just a different kind of tight end.
I don't think there is a game bigger tomorrow than Ohio State and Texas at the Shoe. There are some other good ones, though, so why don't we talk about those a little bit next? We'll also figure out what we think about this Ohio State-Texas game, maybe a little score prediction, some action against the spread. We've got all of that and more coming up with the College Football Pulse. That's next. It's the Buckeye Show right here on The Fan.
We're the highest-rated sports radio station in America. There's no joke there. We just are. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
An official message from Medicare.
I'm saving money on my Medicare prescriptions. Maybe you can save too. With Medicare's Extra Help program, my premium is zero and my out-of-pocket costs are low. Who should apply? Single people making less than $24,000 a year or married couples who make less than $32,000. Even if you don't think you qualify, it pays to find out.
Go to ssa.gov/extrahelp. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
2 hours ago, Kyle arrived at the bar.
Hey, what's everyone drinking?
30 minutes ago, Kyle got his friends another round of drinks.
Cheers!
5 minutes ago, Kyle decided to drive home drunk. A minute ago, a law enforcement officer pulled up behind Kyle.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
A chain of events that began 2 hours ago is about to change Kyle's whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Buckeye fans, this is for you. Level up with the brand new AAA Buckeyes MVP membership. You'll receive all the benefits of AAA, such as 24/7 roadside assistance, plus chances to win tickets to Ohio State sporting events, access to exclusive MVP experiences, along with 10% off select gear at the Ohio State team shop. Already a AAA member? Add the Buckeyes MVP membership for free. Head to AAA.com/Buckeyes to upgrade or join the squad and put your fandom in drive.
Love your Buckeyes? Love Donato's Pizza? Love cookies? Then you're really gonna love this. It's Donato's new Buckeye Cravings Combo. A large one-topping pizza served up with 4 decadent peanut butter frosted chocolate cookies, all for just $19.99. Perfect for game day or any day here in Buckeye Nation. Order your Donato's Buckeyes Cravings Combo today. More pizza, more cookies, more Buckeyes. Donato's. Gotta love more.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix, guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. And you never compromise your appetite with our golden brown bread that's baked fresh in store. And you never compromise your wallet with our lower prices. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Hey Buckeyes, I'm John Chabot with Surest, a digital-first health plan designed to make healthcare simple and affordable right here in Ohio. At Surest, we believe healthy small businesses are vital to our economy. That's why we're ready to give your small business a VIP opportunity through our small business sweepstakes. Winners will be recognized on the sideline at an Ohio State home football game. To enter, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com/Surest. That's SUREST. Surest, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
This promo is for anyone who likes baseball or America or Terry Francona's scooter. The Reds are on the Fan. Catch all 162 games here on the Fan and 1460 ESPN Columbus and the Fan's HD2. Your home for Reds baseball, the Fan.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Keep your summer fun going in a new Toyota Camry, America's best-selling car. It's all hybrid all the time with available all-wheel drive. Now through September 2nd, get 4.99 APR financing on any new 25 Camry Or lease a new Camry LE for just $279 a month for 36 months with $36.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Hey there, Central Ohio. I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Michael Behrens with your latest forecast. We're looking at pretty quiet weather as we head through this evening and into tonight. If you're heading to those high school games, expect a few clouds. Temperature near 70 at kickoff will drop through the 60s throughout the game and end in the 50s overnight. Saturday for the Buckeyes, if you're heading out to tailgate, expect 60s before noon with temperatures in the 70s afternoon. Plenty of sunshine. We'll be more 70s and sunshine for Sunday. That's your latest 10 Weather Impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
It's time for the College Football Pulse on the Buckeye Show.
Sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
One more sleep, people. That is all we've got. Ohio State and Texas with a noon kick tomorrow in the shoe. We can't wait for it. Dylan Tyrer, Pat Murphy with you on the Buckeye Show, and we've got Jacob Reimer running the keys back there in rhyme time. It's time for the College Football Pulse. So what do you got for us?
Yeah, so we all know that tomorrow is Lee Corso's last headgear pick, which I feel like we all have to assume has to be Brutus, or it would be very weird if it's not. But I also didn't realize this. He got a send-off. He's been flying with Southwest for the past few years, I would think, or it seemed like it was, or maybe for a while.
It seemed like a thing, yeah.
And at his gate in Orlando, coming up here, he got a little send-off from Southwest Airlines. So I thought that was pretty cool. And Fox is doing a little thing to honor Lee Corso as well, and they are going to be showing the headgear pick on Fox as well.
All right, that's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
Yeah, I didn't know about that, them doing that on Fox. So a nice little tip of the headgear, I suppose, there to Lee Corso. That should be a nice part of tomorrow in the pregame festivities.
Absolutely. And I know that over the years, Buckeye fans have become disillusioned with ESPN and a lot of the talk that goes on over there and stuff. And I get it. But I think back to when I was, first really watching like college football religiously, and game day was can't miss, situations. I remember in college, we went out to the Ohio State USC game in LA. And we got up at, 6 a.m. or whatever it was just to watch game day. And it was on campus. We could have gone. We did not. We laid in bed or on couches at my friend's house. But, that was appointment television. And part of that was to see who Lee Corso picked. I remember in college, you wanted to watch that. Sometimes if Ohio State had a noon game, it was can we push it and just haul our way over to the stadium to see who he picks or whatever? Because you weren't streaming things on your phone at that point. So yeah, I think it's cool. I'm glad they had him come back for one more. I'm glad it's here. It's just kind of a full circle moment, and I hope it all goes well for him.
For me, it's so much of the staying power. Over the years, they've had their celebrity pickers, and remember when Timothy Chalamet did it last year, and I think everybody loved that. It was kind of just a viral moment with Timmy Chalamet doing that, and everybody was like, oh, this guy knows ball. But still, everybody sticks around to see Lee Corso and who he picks, right? It's that staying power that despite everything they've done to bring in these celebrities and draw more interest, Pat McAfee joining the show, all of that, the highlight of it all is still Lee Corso putting on the headgear, and that is something that I will miss. And I'm hoping it's the Brutus head for the final time, right?
And I'm glad that they aren't having someone else do this.
Yeah.
And I know they announced that because, look, it's his thing. He's made it so much. When Fox announced they were going to do big noon kickoffs and they were going to move it around, I was glad to see that they aren't trying to do something the same or, try and copy it in some way. That is his thing. It was something that happened kind of naturally because I'm sure everyone knows the story, but Kirk Herbstreit and, obviously his wife was an Ohio State cheerleader, so she had access to getting him the headgear of Brutus and everything. So I'm glad it's going to end with him where it all started.
All right, Reimer, what else do we have? We have lots of college football tonight, right?
Yeah, lots of college football on tonight. A couple Big Ten games. Western Michigan's at Michigan State, and Illinois is hosting Western Illinois. And then I think probably the two most notable ones is Auburn at Baylor and Georgia Tech at Colorado. So those are going to be some very interesting games. Getting to see Prime. Is Hugh Freeze going to go with 3 quarterbacks tonight? I don't know.
That's what he said, right? Three guys could play. I'm curious about that Colorado game just to see what Colorado looks like in the post-Shador, post-Travis Hunter era, and maybe if they have staying power the same way that I was just talking about Lee Corso and what Coach Prime has going on there.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think it's always interesting with Auburn because obviously an SEC school, they recruit pretty well. So how do can they get on track? It's been a while since you've had a pretty good Auburn season. But yeah, I think just the fact, like even last night, watching some of the games, and not all the games were great. Some of the Big Ten games were kind of a slog to get through early, but the fact that college football was back, I'm just excited. Like I couldn't take my eyes off the TV last night. I had 3 games going at once.
Reimer and I did the same thing last night. Actually, we were talking about it before the show. Like I really wanted to watch that Nebraska game.
Yeah,
not for any of the extracurriculars with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, mind you. I turned on the game and I was like, oh, they're here, great.
Yeah, right.
But I wanted to see Dylan Raiola. I wanted to see what Nebraska looked like. Heck, I wanted to see what Cincy looked like. By the way, kind of liked the all red look for Cincy in that game.
Handful of Buckeyes in that game.
Yeah, there were a lot of Buckeyes. I turned that on and I was hearing all these different names and I was like, man, Ohio State feeding Cincinnati right now with all these different guys. But
I still find it very weird that was a home game for Cincinnati, but it was way closer for Nebraska.
Yeah. So did you hear why this happened?
I didn't hear it on the broadcast.
Okay. No. I just have a buddy who's a huge Cincinnati fan because I watched the game with him, and he said, so this was going to be in Indy. That was what it was scheduled for. And I guess Arrowhead wants to make this an annual thing where they host a week 1. And so they said that they would buy out their contract with Lucas Oil and pay them, I forget how much more, but it was like enough more that it was worth Cincinnati, obviously not the biggest football program, to take that and just be like, all right, we'll basically give up a home game. And I actually thought they competed pretty well, all things considered.
No, it was a fun game, and it came down to the interception at the very end, which I kind of buried the lead there in that Reimer and I both fell asleep watching that game, so I don't think we caught that part. I caught that on Twitter this morning, but hey, happy to see the Big Ten get a win out of that one. All right, Reimer, what do we got coming up next? I think we've got to make some picks now.
Yeah, we will. You guys want to do some against the spread picks?
Sure. It is the Buckeye Show presented by Coors Light. So let's finish up with Ohio State and Texas. But I know we've got plenty of other big games that we want to talk about. So let's get some against the spread picks with those ones.
Yes. So Alabama, probably the first notable one for tomorrow outside of Ohio State, Texas. On the timeline of when games will be happening, Alabama at Florida State. And Alabama is favored by 2 touchdowns, 13.5.
I think Alabama comes out and just stomps FSU, so I like Alabama to cover.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it'll be right around that line, but I think they do cover. Florida State, you got to show it to me after last year, and I think Alabama's hungry after missing the playoff.
Yeah, I think I will go that way as well, and kind of with Pat, like it'll be within that 10-point range a little bit. It'll be close kind of throughout, and then Alabama will get a touchdown there at the end to kind of pull it away, and then a big stop within the last 2 minutes and to ice it and everything.
All right, you've seen the future.
I know. I'm just telling you guys what's going on.
All right, bet it.
So then the other very big game tomorrow is LSU at Clemson, a true road game for LSU. Brian Kelly hasn't won a week 1 game at LSU, correct? I think
you're right.
I know he hasn't won the last 3.
Yeah.
And that may be as long as he's been there.
I think
you're accurate.
Clemson is favored by 4.5. Are you riding with Dabo's crew, or are you taking Brian Kelly in week 1?
Brian Kelly's getting it done this year. LSU outright. They're the real Death Valley. I'll take them on the money line. I'll take them to cover any way you want it.
I'm pretty torn on this one. I think Clemson's getting a little too much hype, but I do think they're good. I'm going to go Clemson in another close game.
Yeah, I love what Cade Klubnik has to offer and everything that they present for Clemson. I'll go with Clemson as well.
All right, we've got a couple minutes here. What do we got next?
So we'll go with the other big game that's on Sunday. Notre Dame at Miami. Notre Dame is favored by a field goal.
I'm big on returning quarterbacks this year. Mm-hmm. Carson Beck, obviously not a returning quarterback at Miami, but I think he's got a lot to prove this season, so I'm going to go the U in this game to win outright. Not just cover. I like the U to win.
Yeah, I'm interested because we saw one good year of Carson Beck, and then last year at Georgia was not.
Yes.
And then he obviously gets hurt before the playoffs. So what's the real Carson Beck? He's got a lot to prove, I think, this season. So I'll go with Miami, too. I think they handle business in this one.
I'll go Notre Dame. I'll be different here. I'll go with the Fighting Irish. All right, quickly here.
Give it to us. Give us Texas, Ohio State. Come on.
With the one we want, Texas at Ohio State. The Buckeyes are favored by 2.
All right, Ohio State's going to win on the final drive of the game. I like a game-winning field goal, and they will cover.
It's up to 2 now. Earlier today, it was down to 1.
I've seen a bunch of different lines.
Yeah, I saw people even saying that Ohio State were the underdogs all of a sudden. I said 21-17 on our score prediction today. I think this is going to be a heck of a game. I think it's going to be, we were talking about the 2005 game before we started on air. I think it's going to be pretty similar to that.
So I need to look at the camera.
But Ohio State will win.
Horns down. Buckeyes all the way. I'll go 20-13.
All right, guys, this was fun. Buckeye Show on the Fan. Coming up next, pregame coverage for Hilliard Bradley and Hilliard Darby. Again, thanks for being with us on the Fan.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Don't sweat it. Call Care Heating and Cooling and we'll fix your air conditioner fast. 1-800-COOLING.
Sometimes I hear a sparkling sound.
Like when we say, all you have to do is point?
There it is.
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Hey, Columbus. It's Lorenzo Stiles Jr., Ohio State student-athlete. Football runs deep in my family. My dad played here, and now my brother and I are proud to carry on that tradition. At Monogram Homes, family matters too. They treat every homeowner like one of their own, building with care, precision, and pride. Monogram doesn't just build houses, they build homes, crafted just for you. So whether you're starting your first home or designing your dream space, Monogram Homes has got your back every step of the way. Visit monogramhomes.net to start building today. Monogram Homes, a builder you can trust.
You hear that? That's the sound of Pepsi Zero Sugar. The better tasting, more refreshing Zero Sugar Cola. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Let your taste decide.
The Columbus Zoo invites you to follow the footsteps and the tales of animals from around the world. Explore our newest region, North America Trek. So what are you waiting for? Get your tail to our trails only at your Columbus Zoo.
Dormar, your pilot hero.
When your furnace or air conditioner is broke, we come out that same day. Dormar, home the Tin Man.